welcome to TCSN. Hanako is a 69-year-old elephant who is living in a concrete pen in the zoo in Japan. In 1949, she was a gift from Thailand to Japan and has been in the zoo since she was 2 years old. There have been many rumors going around that Hanako is going to be moved to a sanctuary because of the conditions she is living in now. Many of her caretakers say it will be too stressful for her to be moved, and they said that she is happy with her living conditions. But Carol Buckley, who is an American who founded an animal sanctuary and has worked with other captive elephants, said that she noticed while on a trip to the zoo, Hanako was clearly bored and needed more toys and time with the zookeepers. The owner of the zoo agreed that Hanako should be moved through a telephone interview, acknowledging that perhaps zookeepers had too readily assumed Hanako was happy with her living conditions and that she did not want change. They are hopeful that changes will be made later on this month.
Here's a presidential election update. Trump and Cruz are locked in a tight race. 30% of the Republican voters chose Trump, and 27% of the voters chose Cruz, and they are both really close. Rubio is at 22%, and Kasich is at 20%, and those two are really close as well. But this was before Trump won over Nevada and South Carolina, but Cruz is still battling to catch up to Trump. It's going to be a close one.
Thank you, Evelyn. On Tuesday, March 8th, 31-year-old Jamie Gilt was found shot in the driver's seat of a pickup truck. She was found by a deputy who stopped to check on the vehicle. The deputy saw her behaving frantically inside the truck. Jamie motioned for help and told investigators her son had accidentally shot her. Deputies say evidence confirmed that the young boy who had been sitting in the back seat was the one who pulled the trigger. She was rushed to a hospital where she was listed to be in stable conditions. The boy, who wasn't injured, is now with family members. The Florida Department of Children and Families are also investigating.
Samoa taglines: America's 3 favorite cookie flavors. By just saying these can make your mouth water. So by saying this, everyone can agree with me that everyone enjoys Girl Scout cookies. Even the elderly can enjoy cookies from time to time. A Girl Scout troop from Arizona recently visited an elderly home, and the elderly were extremely happy to see all the little girls and 2 of them around their home. They got to play board games with them too. Yet the senior citizens hadn't even experienced the best treat yet, because the Girl Scouts brought boxes of cookies for them to enjoy for the afternoon. The senior citizens were extremely thankful for all the Girl Scouts taking time out of their schedule to spend the day with them, and thanks for tagging along to my story.
Seymour police have identified 2 men who died in a murder-suicide Thursday morning at the Cummins engine plant. Edwards and Chen were killed in the shooting. Police are calling Chen the shooting suspect, and a 9mm Glock handgun was discovered after the crime scene. Police believe Chen shot Edwards, then turned the gun on himself. Police Bill Abbott told reporters in a late morning news conference that calls started coming in around 8:45 a.m. that reporting shots fired. Another employee believes she was close to the shooting. She described her desk shaking, thinking there was something wrong with the building. When word spread about the shooting, she and her coworkers left the building. SWAT teams with Indiana State Police, Columbus Police, and Seymour Police conducted a secondary search of the facility to make sure there were no other threats on the site. All co-workers were sent home for the day, and businesses will be closed today and will reopen Monday.
Now, we all have heard about stars decorating the skies at night, but have you heard about what's decorating the Arabian Sea? Well, the green swirls you see here in the photo aren't what you think it might be. In fact, they are plankton. Yep, plankton. This photo was taken on February 3rd, 2016 by the NASA Aqua satellite. The billions amounts of plankton you see here are called Natulica scintillans, or N. scintillans for short. They had started appearing in the late 2000s and have bloomed in large quantities ever since. The N. scintillans may look pretty on the eyes, but not pretty in the sea. They are bad for local ecosystems, and evidence proves that the plankton are shorting marine food webs. They also help warm the sea by absorbing sunlight, but such warmings have contributed to the recent uptick in Arabian Sea cyclones. Joaquim Goes of Columbia University claims that the plankton mostly dwells in low oxygen waters and have made home to the Arabian Sea because of its poor oxygen levels. Let's hope that the planktons don't get too comfy in the sea because, after all, they are a problem to marine life and can poison many fish. Now, I think the Arabian Sea needs to take down some of its decorations, plankton, or either redecorate because these kinds of decorations are harmful.
If you had to choose just a few dogs out of 250 to save from a shelter, it would be very difficult. At least you could save some of them, right? But you would have to leave the other dogs behind to die a life with no one to ever love them. For Danielle Eden, it was an easy choice. She bought the entire shelter in Israel and brought the dogs back to her 50-acre shelter in King Ontario. When she first got to the shelter, she knew that the dogs were all in danger. They were fighting for scraps of bread, and they were living with rats. To help the dogs get better, they go on long walks, and they go through training. And before being adopted, they get medical care. Since the first of the year, she has put 90 of the dogs in homes or other shelters in Israel. Thanks to her, she saved all 250 of the dogs that would have probably died if it weren't for her generosity.
Just 2 days ago, or 140 million years ago, history was made. On Wednesday, scientists stumbled upon a pine tree fossil in a Canadian stone quarry, but not any pine tree fossil. It turned out to be the oldest pine tree fossil discovered to date. Dr. Howard Falcon Lang from the Royal Holloway University in London discovered the fossils in Nova Scotia, Canada. One of the fossils he found turned out to be 140 million years old. It dates back to the age of the dinosaur. Just a half a centimeter in diameter, the new fossil beats the old record holder for the oldest fossil by an estimated 11 million years.
Last week, a Labrador puppy named Jedi saved a life. Luke, his 7-year-old owner, is diabetic, and Jedi is specially trained to help him. It was an ordinary night for Luke. He was fast asleep, and so was Jedi, who was right next to him. Suddenly, Jedi jumped up and started barking. Then he ran to Luke's parents and woke them up. His parents knew it must have been an emergency due to Jedi's strange behavior. Luke's blood sugar was at a level so low it could have been deadly. Even a high-tech sensor planted below Luke's skin, which detects his glucose levels, didn't set off any alarms. If Jedi hadn't realized the danger Luke was in, then Luke wouldn't have been given his glucose tabs. Luke is alive because of Jedi. Dogs have a purpose beyond just entertainment or being a friend. Dogs can save lives. Here's another I messed up. Sorry.
I always do good on the rehearsal, and then the real thing happens, and it's all ghost.